What's going on, everyone? So the Lakers have had Austin Reaves listed as essentially untradeable, right? Multiple teams have tried to get him from, in a Kyrie trade to a DeJounte Murray, right? And they have just refused to budge. Supposedly, they're only willing to unload Austin Reaves for that all-star level talent. However, Jovan Buha had a interesting kind of tidbit in one of his YouTube videos where he talked about the Lakers, more likely than not, losing Austin Reaves when LeBron James decides to hang it up, when he retires or leaves the Lakers, right? And that more likely than not, Austin Reaves, after next season, is going to opt out and go for a bigger deal. And supposedly, according to Jovan Buha, that he believes that he'll be looking at a $300 million contract. Teams are going to essentially pay him a bag. I don't see that personally, right? Look, Austin Reaves is a good player. He's not a $40 million a year player or $35 million. I could see teams maybe giving him 18 to 20 million, especially to get him from the Lakers. But with the new CBA, Brandon Ingram is a better player than Austin Reaves, right? However you feel about Austin Reaves, whether you think he's a star or not, Brandon Ingram's a better player, right? And he's probably only going to get 20 to 25 million, right? I don't see teams lining up to give Austin Reaves $40+ million. But that's a very real possibility. Maybe a team does. Maybe a team's like, hey, you know what? He's really good. He makes sense, right? There's always, sucker born every day, right? Chandler Parsons to this day talks about how, he swindled to get a max deal and he couldn't believe it, right? So you never know, right? There's a lot of bad teams that make bad decisions regularly, give out bad contracts regularly. So, again, and then to also get him from the Lakers, it might be something that could be interesting to look out for. But according to Jovan Buha, he said 55% that the Lakers end up losing Austin Reaves when LeBron leaves. If you even think it's 20%, shouldn't you look to maybe trade him? Right? Especially before you get to the point where now it's okay, we're going to lose him, or we have to trade him, and now you're in kind of a desperation state. Again, I'm not saying you trade Austin Reaves just to trade Austin Reaves. The deal has to be there. It has to make sense. But you can turn Austin Reaves into a player that really kind of fits and makes sense. Why wouldn't you do that? Right? Again, I don't think Austin Reaves is untradeable. Austin Reaves is a very good player. Again, good contract. I get that. He's not a star. He's not a superstar. He's, a blue chip role guy, right? If he's your fourth, fifth best player, probably a really good basketball team. He's not a third option, clearly. He's too inconsistent, doesn't defend. He's not athletic, right? He relies too much on foul baiting, right? And, look, James Harden built a superstar career doing it, but James Harden could do so many other things. He's one of the best playmakers. He's a guy that could actually shoot with consistency, right? He was a superstar, right? But, he's a guy that, foul baited a lot. Austin Reaves kind of added that to his repertoire. And look, when he's getting the whistle, he's tough, right? But when he's not getting the whistle, you've seen him kind of have his struggles, right? He does have his games where he'll knock down, 4 threes, 5 threes, but he's also had games where he's, 1 of 5. And it's just inconsistencies. Even lately, he's had better games, but it's been a tale of two halves. It's man, he had a really good first half and then just disappeared in the second half, right? So even throughout the course of a game, he's been inconsistent. Austin Reaves, honestly, the Lakers probably should have sold him high, a year ago, right? Going into last season. But I get not wanting to, because you want to say, if he's that good, right? Because he was coming off of an incredible run. But we've seen guys have excellent runs, excellent playoff runs, excellent stretch. Mentioned Chandler Parsons, right? Chandler Parsons literally had one playoff run, ended up getting an absolute bag because of it. And he was never able to replicate that, right? So again, it's just Austin Reaves is kind of a right place, right time. And look, I ain't mad at him. Go get your money, right? If somebody's willing to offer Austin Reaves $40 million or $30 million, go get that. Because the Lakers, I would rather the Lakers just lose him than give him $30 million or something crazy like that. That's the last thing we need the Lakers to do is like, oh, okay, we'll just give Austin Reaves, like, oh, the market has him listed as like 30 million. Austin Reaves is willing to stay for 25 million. Do not do that, right? Like, I do not care. Even if he's like, hey, tell you what, I'll stay for 25 million or 22 million. No. He's probably around an 18 to maybe $20 million player at most, realistically, especially the way certain contracts get put out. But, ideally, like if he's like, hey, give me 4 years, 60 million, then sure, right? Like 15 million a year. Yeah, I'd do that all day. But point is that like the Lakers have an opportunity to kind of push their chips in and try to win now, right? LeBron's only got so many years left. And to me, it's like if you can, Austin Reaves is your best trade asset. Every team wants Austin Reaves. Obviously, teams are going to want Dalton Connect now, but LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Dalton Connect are the only like three untradables. Like again, I don't think anyone's really untradeable. There's like three guys in the league that are truly untradeable. But for Lakers standards, yes, three guys should be untradeable. LeBron James, Anthony Davis. You're not trading them unless it's for like Giannis and Jokic or Wemby or something crazy like that, which isn't going to happen. So LeBron and AD, untradeable. And then Dalton Connect. Just because of, again, it's not that he's like, oh man, like if you get the right, oh yeah, of course. Somebody's like, man, we'll give you whatever. We'll give you Giannis, but you got to give us Connect, right? Like, okay, like, it depends on what it is. But, unless it's for like a top 20 guy or something like that, you don't want to trade him. There's no point in trading him for another role guy because he's young, he's a rookie. Oh, and by the way, he's going to be dirt cheap for the next 5 years. And then, oh yeah, by the way, he's exactly what you need on this roster next to LeBron James, next to Anthony Davis, and even after, like even when LeBron rides off into the sunset and you have Anthony Davis and you get another star, Dalton Connect would be great to have, right? Like, even if you end up do get a Trae Young or something like that, right? Like, having a guy in Dalton Connect that's big, athletic, versatile, and can just light it up at any moment, right? Like, there's some value there, right? So, again, those are the only three guys that I think are, like, untouchable. Austin Reaves, again, I don't think you trade him for fun. I don't think you trade him for, a bag of chips, but, like, if you can get something that makes sense, or if you can fill a better need, right? So, like, let's say you trade for Zach LaVine. I know people are going to be like, oh, here we go, Zach LaVine. But no, like, hear me out, right? Because if you get a guy like a Zach LaVine, right, you don't really have as big of a need for Austin Reaves. So, like, let's say you get a Zach LaVine. Let's say you get a Dorian Finney-Smith. Let's say best case scenario, you get a Walker Kessler, right? Say you get Zach LaVine, Dorian Finney-Smith, Walker Kessler. What would be better? Austin Reaves, Zach LaVine, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis, or you turn like Reaves into like a Bruce Brown. Now I know Reaves stands might be like, absolutely not. You're not trading Reaves for Bruce Brown. It's not about necessarily like what you value or that. It's like what would be the best fit and make the most sense with the rest of the roster, right? Bruce Brown, assuming he's healthy and back to, Denver Bruce Brown, right? What would make more sense? A legit 3-and-D guard that's got good size and can defend 1 through 3, and on some nights 1 through 4, alongside a Zach LaVine who go get you 50 if you need him to, a Dorian Finney-Smith who gives you a legit 3-and-D wing, a LeBron James and Anthony Davis, or Austin Reaves, who's a liability defensively. You don't need his offense as bad because you have Zach LaVine now. You have Dorian Finney-Smith as a 3-and-D guy, and it's like you got LeBron James, Anthony Davis. Bruce Brown makes more sense. Again, he's just an example, but like that's my point, right? Like if you can get somebody that makes more sense as far as like offensively, defensively, to fit around whatever other trades you get, right? Like, or if you, let's say you get Cam Johnson, Dennis Schroeder, and Day'Ron Sharpe, right? Okay, you have Dennis Schroeder, you have Austin Reaves, Cam Johnson, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Okay, well, what if you turn Reaves into like some real, if he's not willing to come off the bench, some real bench depth, and move Connect in the starting unit and go, like Dennis Schroeder, point of attack, 3-and-D guard, who, if he can replicate and continue to do what he's done in Brooklyn, Dalton Connect, who gives you good size at the 2, can shoot, do everything that you need him to do. Cam Johnson, 3-and-D, your third best player. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and then you could go get, again, like a backup guard and like another piece, because teams just really want Austin Reaves, so they're just like, hey, we'll take whatever, and like just give us Austin Reaves, and now you could get maybe your 6th and 8th guy to better round out this roster, right? Or maybe instead of Dayon, you can get an upgraded center, right? Like, it just, if you can, to me, it's like, if you can get that clear, better player, right? Like, obviously it's too late, but like DeJounte Murray, I was big on trading Reaves for DeJounte Murray, right? Because he's the better player, right? Like, Reaves, I like Reaves. He's not DeJounte Murray, right? And DeJounte Murray gives you the athleticism, point of attack, everything that you need, right? So, like, it's like, who usually wins the trade? The team that gets the better player. So, to me, it was like, if you get, like, a DeJounte Murray, right? So, like, if you can get a clear-cut better player, then yes, you trade him. But also, if you make a bunch of other trades, and then there's a clear need, it's like, man, we could be better, right? So, for example, the people that love Austin Reaves, right? And they're like, absolutely not. If you, like, let's say you make the trade, Zach LaVine, Dorian Finney-Smith, Walker Kessler, right? Boom, you have Walker Kessler off the bench. If you have, say, a 70% chance of winning a championship with those guys, right? And Austin Reaves, but you have like a 85% chance of winning with like a Bruce Brown or something else, you'd rather keep Austin Reaves than winning a championship? Like, because I wouldn't, right? Like, if it makes more sense, right? Even if you think Austin Reaves is slightly better or whatever, right? If it's like, okay, well, this really fills a need. Now we're a top 5 offense, top 5 defense, rather than top 5 offense and, 12th defense. Right? Like, if you can upgrade, right? If you can be better balanced, be better balanced. We've seen, just because there's a bunch of names on jerseys doesn't necessarily translate to championships, right? People were telling me, oh, Phoenix last season, when they got Bradley Beal with Kevin Durant and all that stuff, I was like, it's not going to work. They're terrible. Like, I don't see a path where it works, right? I still don't think that they're going to win a championship, right? People were calling me crazy. You don't know ball. You're an idiot, right? Like, and then what happened? They got to the playoffs and they got swept. They got ran through. Right? Look, Lakers weren't much better, but still, point is, like, people were already, like, literal comments from people that were like, just give Phoenix the championship now. It's unfair. How could the NBA let this happen? That's too good. You talk about 3 superstars on a team, and they were terrible. Worst fourth quarter team in the league, all of it. And they're only good right now when Kevin Durant plays, because Kevin Durant's Kevin Durant. They can't win a game without Kevin Durant. They're like 1-8 without Kevin Durant. Right? Like, but they're like 9-2 or something like that with Kevin Durant. Right? Like, so it's not even like they're just that good. It's just Kevin Durant's that good. Right? Like, so again, it's just like, it's not just about the names. It's about the fit and things like that. Like, why did Boston work? Because Drew Holiday, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Kristaps Porzingis with, Al Horford, it fit. It made sense, right? It was better balanced. They had the best balanced roster in the league. One of the top defenses, one of the top offenses, and they ran through everybody. Like, I would rather that than be like, oh, well, at least we kept Austin Reaves. Like, so anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think, no, you need to hold on to Austin Reaves as long as possible? Do you think, like, no, like, you got to get off Austin Reaves now before he ends up leaving, or you end up putting yourself in a position where it's like, well, teams now know that he's leaving, so they're not going to give you what you'd like to get. Because if it's like, I know he's just going to leave, right? Like, or, now teams are like, oh, well, I could just sign him next season. Like, why would they trade for him, right? So things to keep in mind. But again, how you feel, whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.